Taylor Swift is probably not a very ethical person, just like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or even Rihanna. The problem is they are billionaires, and as many think, being ethical is incompatible with having that kind of money. In this video essay, we will try to find out whether this statement is true in 100% of the cases. Can there be exceptions? In order to grasp the magnitude of the amount of how much billion is, let's consider it in terms of time. If you received $1,000 daily, it would require you 2,740 years to accumulate $1 billion. The ethical question of the $1 billion in this video essay will be divided in two parts. Firstly, can a person earn that unimaginable amount of money in their lifetime ethically? Secondly, even if they did earn it in the most moral way, is it ethical to keep this amount to themselves? Let's start answering the first question. There are 2,640 billionaires in the world currently, Taylor Swift and Rihanna included. Both women are entirely self-made, with one difference. Swift mainly profited from selling her music, while Rihanna's bulk of earnings come from her stake in Fenty Beauty. Every celebrity eventually launches their makeup brand, but Rihanna's Fenty Beauty is distinguished from the rest. First of all, it is extremely inclusive. When Rihanna started Fenty Beauty back in 2017, she launched with 40 different shades of foundation, focusing on a wide range of traditionally hard-to-match skin tones, developing formulas that work for all skin types, and pinpointing universal shades. To this day, Fenty Beauty's variety in color is rivaled by only a few other beauty brands. When many celebrities get involved in projects, they lend their name to it, but are very hands-off after the fact. Not so for Rihanna. She is very involved in all of her projects, even in the smallest details.
I really get involved with every aspect of anything that I do, whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's a makeup product, whether it's Savage lingerie, like whatever I do.
Despite enormous success, money is never enough, so Rihanna continued to diversify her streams of income. In 2018, she launched Savage x Fenty, a lingerie brand with focus again on inclusiveness, and a skincare brand, Fenty Skin. The diversification of her revenue streams continues, as the singer has filed patents within the last year for Fenty Kids and Fenty Hair. Though Rihanna is famously involved in the smallest details of her brands, she owns only 50% of it, with the other half owned by LVMH, which stands for Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, is a luxury conglomerate that manages 75 prestigious brands, including Tiffany & Co., Christian Dior, Sephora, and Bulgari. Fenty Beauty had not only had the technical expertise and financial backing of LVMH, but also a built-in distribution channel in Sephora. With Rihanna's savvy and promotion, it took off. LVMH and its CEO Bernard Arnault have been part of many controversies, among them accusations of money laundering, cheap labor exploitation, ignoring sexual harassment and discrimination practices in the fashion industry. While Rihanna shouldn't be directly responsible for her business partners' actions, isn't it her responsibility to carefully select the individuals and enterprises she builds brands with? The answer is pretty clear, but the singer's collaboration with a less ethical person doesn't automatically mean she is unethical herself. Plus, by using the connections and expertise of a company as huge as LVMH, Rihanna in the first place served the marginalized communities and established a new inclusivity threshold the entire makeup industry has to meet. Unfortunately, Rihanna's partnership with LVMH is not the only ethically questionable thing about Fenty Beauty. The problem is the brand's usage of a mineral named Mica. Mainly mined in India, Mica is a mineral used in cosmetics to add a shimmery effect. In 2021, NGO Legal Rights Observatory filed the complaint alleging Fenty Beauty doesn't have a certification to outlaw that the mica used in its products isn't sourced from mines in Jharkhand, where child laborers work in dire conditions. Fenty addressed the allegations with a statement still available on their website. The brand has declared that it does not conduct mandatory audits in regards to suppliers' code of conduct under the Californian law for human trafficking, slavery, and child abuse. A clever way of saying they might be using child labor, as they don't really check. So did Rihanna miss that particular detail, or she simply didn't consider it worth her attention? Fenty Beauty isn't the only problematic enterprise in the Rihanna business chain. Fenty x Savage had its share of controversies. In a lawsuit brought forth by Santa Clara County and 4 other local California administrations, Allegations were made against the lingerie company, asserting fraudulent practices by involuntarily enrolling customers into the brand's VIP plan. This action resulted in customers being subjected to undesired monthly fees. Positioned on the item page, the extra VIP price button was strategically placed where a regular price button is typically expected. As a result, Savage x Fenty was fined $1.2 million for defrauding customers. Not very ethical. Bloomberg recently announced that Swift has officially reached billionaire status. According to the Wealth Tracker, Swift's net worth has surpassed $1.1 billion, factoring in the combined value of her music catalog, income from tours and streaming, her real estate holdings. When speaking about ethics in Taylor Swift, the first thing that comes to mind is her love for private jets. However, I am not going to speak about it in this video. I think it has been discussed enough times, so I'm not going to bore you with the same stuff. Re-recordings. Back to Bloomberg's analysis, which provides a breakdown of Taylor Swift's estimated net worth across various categories. The value of her music catalog, encompassing albums released from 2019 onwards, incorporates both new releases and the re-recorded Taylor's versions, estimated at around $400 million. Despite what many say, re-recording and reselling her old work is ethical, considering the context where her original work was sold without her consent, and corporate entities were the ones to benefit from it. Fans should support their favorite artist by listening to their music, not the labels that mistreated them. Taylor's versions are not only ethical, but pretty empowering too. Vinyls. The problem is the recent vinyl obsession of Taylor Swift. Vinyl records have been outselling CDs since 2021, so with the release of Midnights, she came up with a clever marketing strategy that portrays her albums not just as music to be heard, but as collectible items. Fans have the option to select from 4 vinyl editions of exactly the same $30 album, each featuring distinct cover art. Dedicated fans can create a unique wall display by collecting all 4 editions. Vinyl LPs are made from non-recyclable plastic, contributing to roughly 0.5 kilo of CO2 emissions per album during manufacturing. Acquiring 4 copies of a single album for fan art challenges the principles of environmental consciousness. Couldn't she make an album art that could be simply unfolded into a poster? Easily. But then dedicated Swifties would have to pay only $30 instead of 4 times 30. Then there was 1989 TV that came with gradually released variants within limited time frames, unveiling the covers only when they were made available for purchase. According to reports to data tracking firm Luminate, 1989, Taylor's version, sold over 580,000 vinyls in the US in its first 6 days of release, marking the largest sales week for a vinyl album since Luminate began tracking sales in 1991. Many fans expressed dissatisfaction as the approach felt like a cash grab. Taylor Swift doesn't have to completely stop selling vinyl LPs. There is a sustainable alternative. Various startups, such as Evolution Music based in Britain, have initiated the production of vinyl devoid of plastics, opting for plant-based materials instead. Her deliberately not switching for less damaging alternatives is alarming, especially with the power she holds to make her fan base and the industry more attentive to sustainability and climate issues. Eras Tour. The other part of her wealth that comes from concerts, ticket sales, and merchandise is estimated to be around $370 million. Though the ticket prices are high, the show is totally worth it, with Swift putting all of herself in it, and fans describe the experience as unbelievable. What can be unethical? Well, in the best-case scenario, the ticket prices could be more affordable for her working-class fans. According to Polestar, the average Eras Tour ticket price is around $254, which makes Swift roughly $13.6 million per show. Dave Brooks, Billboard Senior Director of Live Music and Touring, told the New York Post, "The cost of the tour has got to be well north of $100 million, probably a lot more than that." Implying the tour costs Swift more than $100 million, the superstar will be able to cover the cost of the whole tour by holding 10 shows. Let me remind you, Eras Tour consists of 146 concert dates. As estimated by Fortune magazine, 25% to 40% of the ticket revenue goes to cover the expensive touring. The rest goes right to the top to our beloved mastermind. The ticket price of Swift's concerts is objectively high. It has more than doubled since her Reputation tour in 2018. marking a significant rise compared to the industry's average increase of $37 during that period, as reported by Bloomberg. The argument for the price hike is the rise of demand. Plus, only a small fraction of fans got to buy the tickets for their original price. Rest paid much more for resale tickets. So no matter how much Taylor tried, enormous demand with the help of people reselling would inevitably surge the price. But wouldn't it be nice of her if Taylor showed some effort to set the lowest prices possible, implying the majority of her fans are young working class who can barely afford rent? The movie. For those who couldn't attend the show, there is a movie. As everything Taylor recently does, the move has proved a financial success, with Variety's latest report showing it has surpassed $250 million in worldwide box office takings. Then, as her own birthday treat, Taylor gave her fans a chance to rent the concert movie on digital platforms in the US and Canada from December 13th for $19.89. The feeling of disappointment this decision invoked on her fans is well summarized in this tweet. Some fans went as far as calling her a capitalist queen. I don't think she is the best representative of our society's exploitative ruling system, but she has definitely won the game of capitalism by playing by its rules. There is absolutely no argument that would justify her choice to make one-time rental of the movie cost $20. Taylor Swift has the momentum. She knows she is at the peak of her career and she capitalizes on it, grabbing as much as she possibly can. The interesting part is there is no mention of her billionaire status on her social media. She chooses to ignore it, which is probably a smart business move on its own. The thing is, throughout different eras in her career, Swift has maintained a reputation for relatability. Taylor never tried to be perceived as cool or unapproachable. Instead, she has cultivated a massive following due to her genuine display of concern and her empowering stance against large corporate entities. If you still wonder why people hate billionaires, Elon Musk is among 124 billionaires who donated less than 1% of their income to charity, according to Forbes. The tragic part is global giving says it would take anywhere from $7 billion to $265 billion per year to totally eradicate global hunger. So if nothing else, Musk, Arnold, and Bezos could easily feed a vast majority of the hungriest people on Earth for a while without going broke. But they choose not to. None of our beloved billionaires can eradicate world hunger, they simply don't have enough money yet. But in terms of ethics, they both sure do what they can. Taylor. During the American leg of Eras tour, Taylor was donating to every food bank on her way, ensuring approximately 125,000 people would get their meal each time. She is also generous with people that work for her. According to People magazine, Swift's gift amounted to approximately $55 million and was extended to all members of her crew, including technicians, riggers, caterers, and dancers. Throughout her long career, Taylor Swift has helped numerous fans to pay student loans, rent, treat cancer, pledged millions to natural disaster and animal rescue funds. Rihanna. Rihanna founded the nonprofit Clara Lionel Foundation, named after her grandparents, in 2012. The foundation has primarily focused on climate resilience and justice initiatives in communities of color. Rihanna was named the Harvard Foundation's 2017 Humanitarian of the Year, as well receiving the NAACP President's Award in recognition of her humanitarian work in 2020. CLF donated more than $36 million to help with COVID relief efforts. As a result of Rihanna's charity work in Barbados, in 2021 she was named her home country's national hero, but only the second woman ever to receive the title. As it seems, there is no completely ethical way of earning $1 billion. Capitalism is a zero-sum game, so in order to win it, someone has to inevitably lose. Who loses more? Fans exploited by and sucked into the oblivion of consumer culture. Or children that have to work in mine on the other side of the globe so they don't starve? Or maybe the planet that is getting polluted? You decide. 100% ethical or not, Taylor Swift and Rihanna are among the very few rich people that are worth supporting. First of all, they both had to put an enormous effort in order to come near the top. Rihanna as an immigrant black woman, and Swift as the young artist who got robbed off her own art. Second of all, they both had to climb on top fighting the massive force of patriarchy. Both victims of assaults by powerful men of the industry, Chris Brown and David Mueller. And third, Rihanna and Taylor Swift inspire millions of people that look up to them. We shouldn't put on them the pressure of changing the world just because they got closer to power than the rest of us. Here is so much these women could do that would make a real difference. Besides charity, Rihanna is making the world better by being intentional about uplifting the kinds of marginalized identities who would typically be left out of or exploited by the beauty industry. Taylor is appreciating the labor of the people she employs and makes our reality slightly more bearable while we listen to her music. What do you think? Was I too harsh? Or on the contrary, did I miss any aspect about their problematic ethics?